Welcome back to the Death Needs Dialogue Entertainment Network. This is The Depths of Felthan, Episode 20, Funnels and Tunnels, Part B.
It's barely a shelter.
I mean, I did
Barely.
burn a couple of pieces, but
That's true. Now there are planks that are torn right off the wall. You can see right outside. Tana, throw acrobatics for me, please.
Oh, good. This is going to come.
so you can get back out of the building or be stuck in there.
Or just takes a bit.
Oh, no. No, I get stuck.
How much?
Natural 1.
Okay, so this is perfect. As you're going through, your right fin on the back, one of the longer ones at the back, catches the corner of the door frame, right where the support beam is. And you go. And you don't notice it. It's like you're not even pulling against anything, and it pulls the support beam out. You guys can hear... Nani? Galus, what are you doing?
Shove Galus out the door.
We can't. Tana's in the door.
Tana's in the door.
Shove Galus out the window? Is there...
There's no windows.
No windows.
Rip some planks off the wall, shove Galus out the side. Does that seem reasonable?
Roll athletics, yep.
Eventually we'll get somewhere.
Break the
That's
wall.
not great. What did you say, athletics?
Yep.
So that is a... Oh, that's not so bad.
12. You grab one plank and you pull it off, but you can see a piece of wood fall from the ceiling. It doesn't hit you guys.
Okay.
You got one plank off.
Do it again.
Easy enough. You pull the next plank off, the next one, and then you get
Galus
Galus
is just like,
out. However, you guys split a d6 of damage, 1 point each, as bits of wood fall on your back as you guys push through. Tanith, you pull through the doorway. Your tail hits the bottom of the other door and kind of sweeps that one side of the building out, and it just collapses inside. Dust plumes up. You look behind you, you can't... Roll perception.
guess we're not having breakfast.
9.
9? You look behind you, you can see two shapes in the dust outside of the falling region of the room. And Deximus bursts out through one of the walls. Just runs right through.
Straight through.
On the other side.
Like Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah!
You guys are outside, the abandoned building has collapsed. What are you going to do?
We gotta get out of here. This place is dangerous.
That brings you out of it.
Erlon looks back to the cloud of dust and dirt that promptly coats his face, and he
It's already coming to Nash anyway.
coughs. What the heck happened?
I got stuck.
You can see part of the L door frame still kind of balancing off of one of his spikes. You can't really reach it. It's just too far.
Well, let's shake like a dog.
Takes his staff and just kind of pokes it off.
Pops off, falls to the ground, breaks again in 2 pieces.
I'll just look down at my arms and be like, this is going to take some getting used to.
Slightly.
It's like a St. Bernard now. It's just everywhere he goes.
Just imagine, like, if I'm going through a door aggressively, it's just like Hulk from Ragnarok with the axes, just breaking the door apart.
Like a juggernaut.
You're gonna have to be mindful of your size nowadays.
Yeah. I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
So you guys are all outside?
The good juggernaut, not the one from Deadpool. It's gotta be Vinnie Jones.
There's a restaurant down here called Juggernauts.
Is there?
There
Let's
is,
go there
yeah.
immediately.
If you look on the map, it comes up. Anyway,
So what are you guys doing?
We need to leave.
Galus says quite angrily, well, I guess we're not having breakfast. Looks at Tana. Turns on a heel and just starts walking away.
Nani pulls a slightly linty muffin out of her pocket and hands it to Galus.
Where did you have that?
In her pocket.
How long has it been in your pocket?
Well,
You're not that hungry, but thanks.
Nani
As
eats
you're
the
looking down,
the muffin.
the orb is lit again. That blue color.
It glows in the presence of muffins.
Now that muffin's been in my pocket the whole time. That's been in my pocket for like a week.
Yeah, not eat that.
There we go, muffin.
It's still good.
So what are you guys doing?
It's glowing again?
Yeah.
And I can see that.
Everybody can see.
It's
Okay, why is it doing that?
Galus reaches into Nani's pocket again.
Dell just kind of looks at it. Well, there's got to be some.
Pass the muffin crumbs.
There's got to be some sort of a trigger for it, whatever that is. I don't know. Obviously, I wasn't there. But he goes, whatever that is, it's got to be hunting or lighting up with something. So there's got to be something nearby.
Does it get brighter the closer it gets, or is it just in the presence of...
It doesn't appear to change at all.
I just start following it around to see if it does. Like
You do?
it's a divining rod to see if it does
and you
anything.
don't notice anything different. You don't notice anything different.
Put it back in the closet.
Put it back in the closet.
Is there anything that is different about like where we are right now, or that everyone can take a look at? Maybe roll investigation, just see if anything kind of sticks out.
Sure.
He's just curious.
Roll insight for me instead. Add that, whatever, what was that? Yeah.
Oh, the 12 was your...
We got what?
Insight? 17.
17?
With this event.
Well, easily. Insight enough. From what you've seen over a little while, you can put two and two together. It seems to be reacting to one particular person in the group. It's just logic. It's math. You guys were all in the house. All of you, and Raven left, and the light went out. House fell down. You're all outside. Light comes back on. Seems to be coming from one particular person.
And he's going to roll investigation to see if he can kind of figure out who that would be.
You figured it out. Your initiative.
Rabbit. He's the only one.
Rob's the only one.
You're not
Everybody else
dumb.
was
You
inside
got
the house. You got it. You're not a stupid man.
How,
You're an angry man. You're a tired man. You're not a stupid man.
hungry man.
We are because we didn't get to eat breakfast.
Right.
Thanks, Tana.
Where is Raven right now?
He's over by the door. He's investigating the door.
Okay, so how far away is that roughly?
Oh, easily enough, over 120 feet away.
Okay, so we're good then. Okay. Erlon will kind of still keep quiet. He'll look over to Nani and he'll say, I think that orb is glowing. Whatever it's near Raven. He came in, glowed. He left, it didn't glow.
Roll insight. Or do you just not care?
Okay,
Okay, that's fine. You definitely
Nani
notice.
just kind of shrugs.
Yeah.
She's like,
You definitely notice, but you just, yeah, sure.
We talked to him about that?
I
Maybe?
wouldn't.
You would?
Maybe we'll just keep that to ourselves for now.
why would it glow?
What?
Raven. Why would?
Well, we know that he has some bags of shifty shit, so maybe.
Yeah, Dell just kind of shakes his head, kind of overhearing parts of the conversation. He's just about, whatever it is, I don't recommend we try and do anything until we're out of this hellhole. I don't know about you, but I don't want to get eaten alive by that thing that's crawling around.
So
Into the
funny
slicer
enough, my stick wants us to go into the hole that the beast came out of.
Oh, excellent.
It just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you say about the Tana, please? I mean, we're leaving.
Oh, Kale's got a map.
Are we going?
Let's get prepared. There's only one way out.
Erlon will
Let's go.
God has
He'll look
a
to Tanith.
plan.
and he'll say, I'll follow behind you, Tanith.
Oh yeah, use me as a meat shield. Thanks.
You're literally the biggest one here.
Valid point.
Don't suppose I can
This
get
is
a-
kind of new, so I gotta get used to it still.
Yeah.
Just apparently that's just valid point.
We'll
You
just sit
guys
on Tanith's
Go
tail.
by the crack in the ground.
Sure.
Okay. Roll perception.
Perception.
Whoever's looking down the crack.
Base.
21.
I didn't even look.
No worries. You still get over. You're pretty trying to
I'm
get
still
the orb
trying to
back
figure
in.
out, yes. Why would it glow?
21.
14.
14. 8.
15.
15. Okay. Anybody above 10 can see that it goes straight down. It's a climb to get down, for sure.
Gave us jumps.
Can't really hear anything. Just maybe just the echoing of perhaps sound, but you don't hear any beasts roaring. Galus, you don't for sure.
Erlon lights a torch and drops it down the hole.
Okay, sure. It drops. You guys can see it goes. about 40 or 50 feet. You're guessing, you're counting as it goes down, and you can see it go deep and stop.
So nice bottom. That's good.
And did it sound like it hit a hard thing at the bottom or a soft thing?
It didn't split. And, you're not showing that last one. You're not quite sure if it's something soft or something hard, but you know it's not something liquid, not water or anything.
And there's no sound.
And you guys can't hear anything, any large sounds coming out of there, just small bits of echoes that could simply be from here echoing down into the crevice itself.
Erlon takes out a couple of the pitons from his pack, and he says, somebody want to jam these into the rock next to it so we can tie a rope to it?
Stares pointedly at the
I was
guy.
just gonna say we stare. Del would just be like,
Everybody turns to look at Taylor. Except Nani, who clearly is not paying attention to anything.
That's right. He picks up his tiny hammer.
Hitting breaks into 5 pieces.
Shatter it.
Boom!
Then you just listen to
He
it.
pushes in the next one like a thumbtack. Like,
Very well could, just mean on it.
True. Yeah. So Erlon holds them out.
Yeah, I'll just drive the first one in.
You don't even have to try. Actually, roll a d20 to see if you roll a 1 for bad shit happening when you go down. But, I mean...
That's what's funny.
It's great.
You get all
We all
three.
just climb on his
three.
back.
You get all 3. Dink, dink, dink. You put them all in a kind of a triangular fashion around it, kind of thing, so you guys can support whatever you're going to support. Rope, I'm thinking.
Tie down 3 ropes.
So
I'm
that's
just
it.
gonna climb.
And you're just going to climb. Athletics, please. Oh no! You
Have a climbing speed.
you have a climbing speed, and this is not straight down. You can climb down.
Hurrah.
Yeah, that's right. It's a bit tight. But that was the only thing for you. It was a bit tight because you are so large now. But you a bit scrape here, scrape there. You guys can hear a bit of rock kind of. But Tanith makes it down.
Sure. Alright. Erlon, he secures the rope and he will let it drop 50 feet down.
Did you do more than one rope?
Yeah, there's 3 ropes.
Okay, it hits the bottom.
Hits the bottom.
Hits the bottom. You don't need the third rope. Just a second will do.
Gotcha. Alright, so Erlon will, he'll tie the rope off to the other pitons for extra support. And he will start descending slowly.
No problem. You've got a rope, DC 5 to get down. That goes for everybody. Climb down.
I've got spider.
Are you
I've
with
got my spider.
disadvantage?
Yeah, I rolled twice.
Good.
I was gonna say I've got my spider climb gear. So.
You have the slippers of spider climb?
Yeah, we turned it into like some actual like more gloves just for.
That's right. It was gloves and slippers.
Yeah,
that's right.
just
See,
for-
that's right.
just
And
for-
you salamander down the wall, no problem whatsoever.
Very fitting for what it is.
Exactly.
what
Smooth
was
scan,
the
right?
save?
5.
5 with the
I
rope.
rolled a 3.
What's
Plus
this?
athletics.
What am I adding? Athletics? Yeah. I have a 0 for my athletics.
Oof. So, Nani.
Do you have a dice of inspiration?
I don't think
I
so.
used it.
But I'm going to say, roll a dexterity saving throw. It's a 10.
I'm watching all
I'm going to
this.
say, as you grab onto the rope, you grab one hand, you grab the other, you put your feet down to go. But as soon as you maneuver the mass of your body overwards, you haven't been climbing
12.
as a pregnant woman.
It's 12 actually.
12 total.
12 total with your bonuses because you get
What am I
10
adding?
dexterity.
Oh.
And you're missing a saving throw. I don't know which one.
No, I only have a wisdom saving throw.
You should have another one.
They should. Yeah, all classes have.
Yeah. You'll have another one for sure.
Did you drew it?
Your saving throws are intelligence and wisdom if you're a druid.
Intelligence and wisdom. Good.
Okay, so it's
Perfect.
still not helping me.
Yep.
right
No,
now,
still not. As you maneuver your mass over the hole, it's just too much for your grip, and it drops. The rope slides 10 feet before you grasp onto it tightly, arms and legs around it, and you skitter to a halt.
though. It's still dangling.
C12 was the mark.
Right on the nose.
Lucky that you caught it because she was going to fall.
Take like 10 d6 damage.
Maybe.
I would have tried to catch her.
So what's that I hand?
but you're able to catch yourself. I need you to roll the athletics again to climb down. Anybody gonna help?
You got this.
No one's fine.
What else can I do on down the
What the
bottom?
hell's down there?
Me! Jump, I'll catch you.
What was our rolling? Sorry.
I mean, go for it.
Athletics.
Athletics.
So, 14.
14. Much better this time. Now that you've got a grasp on the rope, you just didn't realize you
No.
had to hold it so much more. You're able to shimmy down the rope. Nani?
Yeah, I rolled 15. I
Yeah,
was
no
just
problem.
scurry right down.
You get down the rope, no problem at all. Dex.
Back in my hiding days.
and run.
Deximus, natural 19 plus. He's down the rope, no issue whatsoever.
Grab and fold the bird's neck.
No, Raven makes it, but he was slow at it. Going slow. He didn't roll the greatest. He was taking care of his steps. You guys are all down now in the crevice. Roll perception.
Some of us are a little out of breath.
8.
8.
8.
8.
That is
How dark is it down here?
Oh, it's pitch black.
Oh,
Pitch
wow.
black.
That doesn't matter to me.
I got the same on both dice.
What?
It was a 14 for and then perception. You said so 17.
Good. 17.
Alright, I got a 16 and a 17. So
16.
that's going to be on the dice, so that's 21.
Sounds good. You had 8, 9, 21. Perfect.
Oh, that
Most of
was
you guys
so
can
low
see in the
percentage.
dark anyway. And just for a moment
You're
before
so
Deximus
big.
lights it up with the torch, you guys can see 60 feet down this kind of rocky cavern that has fallen in. Opens up only slightly. Only slightly. Tanith, you're going to have to crouch to get down in there.
Okay.
But with that 21, Nani, you can see far at the back 2 eyes. Just for a moment. And then Deximus lights up a torch. The lights disappear because you can only see 40 feet.
Guys,
I would have seen that too.
that thing.
Would you roll?
21.
Yes, you did too. Yeah.
The
Torch
thing.
comes on, and you can now only see 40 feet.
So what?
The thing.
Naughty words.
The thing.
What thing?
The big.
She means the displacer beast.
That thing is down there, I think.
Well, yeah, this is its home.
Well, perhaps we should prepare for that.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
As Tanith walks down there, Tanith, roll intimidation.
Oh, goody.
Parallel will
I was
follow.
going to have this in actual combat, but I don't think so now that Tanith is 9.5
He's
feet
so
tall
big.
and actually
12.
a dragon. 12.
He runs away.
Can we be with advantage? Because he's a freaking
Roll the
dragon.
natural 2. It's not going to be a matter.
All you hear is.
And she can very much so. Very much so. You hear this high-pitched short squeal, and then they scamper.
Scared of you.
They're right at this.
Well, that's handy.
It's good to have a dragon on your team.
Who'd have thought?
And you guys can all hear the high-pitched squeal and the scampering of feet and paws off in a distance away from you as the sound.
Where are we going from here?
Alice lifts up her stick.
Whing! Right down. It's following.
Please tell me
the
it actually makes that noise.
This is the item fighter from
slightly away
Pokemon.
from the rubber tree. You know, so
Funny thing is, you held the divining the water witching thing. I can actually do that.
you can do that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
That's a side hustle, man.
the funny thing is, no matter how hard you hold those fucking whatever it is, either it's green sticks or pieces of coat hanger, those fuckers will turn.
What are we having? Do
Divine
Water
Breath.
witching.
Water divining.
you have a divine breath?
He
I
can
can
do
make
it.
them. I can make them.
Just use.
Coat hangers or green sticks. Like, I've had the bark come off willow sticks in my hands. I hold them so tightly, and they'll just go, nope.
So you guys see this cavern in front of you. A displacer beast skittering off in the distance.
And Gayla's going, let's follow it.
Can we turn that back on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're dying in here.
You guys follow.
We follow it.
You follow. You guys head down this dark cavern. And you walk. And you walk. The
We're not
divine
putting her
rod-
in the lead, though, right?
Who's in the lead?
I'm
Yeah,
not.
definitely not
He's
me.
in lead, and I will strategically place myself so that she is between Tanith and I.
Okay, sounds good.
I only have I have a slow move speed though, so
That's cool.
Moving
Yeah.
slow is the slowest party member.
I think that's me right now.
As you are
have to
carrying
stick
the
with
divine rod,
I just hold my stick out around tennis.
You guys are walking, and it's pretty linear. Every now and then it'll break off, but where it breaks off, it doesn't seem like anywhere that you can go. But the divining rod keeps taking you this particular way, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. We walked for like an hour, 3 hours, you can see that it's gotten a little bit bigger. You guys walk for another 4 or 5 hours.
I'm no longer hunched over.
You're no longer hunched over. Behind you, there's some space. Maybe you guys can walk beside each other, not 10, but the rest of you. 2 by 2. You go for another 2 hours. 10 hours have passed walking. It's still pitch. It's still dark.
I want to walk them.
If you guys walk any further, it's going to be Constitution saves to continue.
I think
I would-
now's a good time to have a break.
Yeah.
We've been walking for a long time.
Agreed.
And Erlon will just, he'll go ahead a little bit and just scout, make sure there's nothing dangerous coming towards us.
Of course.
He'll go up 60 feet.
Yep.
Check and hear.
Roll perception, please.
Slap yourself in the ear.
That will be at disadvantage also.
Use those elf ears.
Let's see.
Right, something
It's 13.
13. You go up, you walk up in the dark, you just hang out for a bit and listen. Listen, you can hear maybe water droplets, off in the distance. But it could be coming from one of those smaller caverns that you can't really fit in.
Dripping from a stalactite, probably.
Exactly. And you look back and you can't really see anything. The cavern continues on, moves off to the right a little bit. You can't hear. You can't see anything. It seems to be pretty empty.
What he'll do is he will just focus for a bit. He'll stay there just listening, and he'll re-roll in like a minute or two.
Of course. Of course.
And then he'll come back to the party afterwards.
And same thing. Roll the dice, yeah.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't get. I got lower than what I did before in the first roll. So
So same thing. You don't really see anything. You're pretty confident that nothing's down here on the ground level.
all right, he'll head back, and he'll.
Whatever.
See, do what you will.
Just gotta turn the timer off.
Right hand side, middle drawer.
Right hand side of the door.
Guess I just read his mind.
I don't know if it carried. Yeah.
I heard.
So Erlon will go back to the party. Who's I'm assuming everybody's sitting. I guess now. Or
Having walked that long, Dell has just basically, as soon as everybody stops, he just immediately slumps to the cavern wall. He's just like, why did we think this was a good idea now?
we didn't have a choice.
That's just in the soldier soul. Should do.
It's uncomfortable here. It's fairly tight for laying down, but you guys can manage a night's rest if you stay here.
Please.
Decimus
You're not sleeping? I'm not sleeping.
says, I'll go ahead and take first watch. He lights up a torch and he walks back about 40, 50 feet where you guys came from and kind of takes up watch over there.
Erlon calls out to him before he goes. He says, use your ears more than your eyes. You'll be able to see past the dim light of your torch.
Yeah, I know how to do it.
He just nods.
He seems like a very proud man.
And Erlon says, I went up ahead, but I couldn't hear anything. I stood in the darkness for about a minute and a half. So it just seems like there's water down ahead, dripping from a stalactite, maybe. Erlon starts meditating for his long rest.
Sounds good. You guys rest. Anybody else taking night's watch? No?
I'm not resting.
Not resting at all? Okay, so you have to mark a point of exhaustion on yourself for when you wake up in the morning. Okay, so you rest.
I sit down. I'm out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Del takes out.
Dell's gone,
Yeah.
so
We'll take second watch.
Takes
I'm
out.
extremely pregnant.
he'll take
And I
that.
just walked for 10 hours.
Sounds good.
By,
Yeah,
the,
roll
by,
perception.
My ankles are this big.
by the time Deximus and Tan have done, I'll rest, so I'll do third watch.
17. With the 17, Tanith, you look up, and you can see that the cavern begins to open up a little. And you can see up there, eyes looking down at you. Not coming closer, but just peering down at you. More than one set, maybe 3 or 4. But they just seem to be walking around on something up there. Some ledge, or somehow they're suspending themselves. You're not quite sure, but you can see it, but they don't seem to be engaging.
That's not what the guys are.
You're pretty sure what they are. Roll a knowledge nature for sure.
17 again.
17 again. You're pretty sure this is where the displaced beasts are hanging out. Pretty sure. You've seen 4 sets of eyes, 3 or 4 sets of eyes.
Ruh-roh.
But the night goes on. They do not engage.
Screw you.
You guys switch rotations. And you tell them about the eyes. You look, you can see them too. Caroline, they don't seem to be engaged. Galus, Delket, you wake up. Delket, you are 1 less point of exhaustion. Nani, you don't sleep. You are at 1 point of exhaustion.
Everybody's tired.
You guys,
Everyone's no longer exhausted.
Lucky for you, I've still got 1 level left. So at least it's only just a very no skill check.
roll play that. Roll play that.
Did you sleep at all? Why not?
I don't know. I wasn't tired, I guess.
Wasn't tired.
Wasn't
We just toddled for 10 hours.
Toddling's my thing. I am
It's true.
a very good toddler.
Galus takes out a hanky and blows her nose.
You sick?
I think I have the elf plague.
Sick?
The elf plague.
It's all this damp underground water. Crap. How do you
Underwater.
dwarves stay under here so long?
Nani roots around in her pockets and finds some herbs and starts crushing them up to make a tea.
So, you guys have your long rest. Nothing really happens. These creatures seem to stay at the distance for some reason. Perhaps it's Tanith, perhaps not. You guys aren't quite sure.
Perhaps there's a bigger monster in the cave.
In the words of Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a bigger fish.
And you guys travel on. You guys travel again for another full days of walking.
It's a lot of walking.
It's a lot of walking. And you notice the divining rod, Galus, isn't taking you in a straight line. It's guiding you through the caverns. And you feel yourself going down at times, coming up at times. And these seems like all natural crevices, like they've been, hollowed out in the rock through some sort of water formation or something of that nature, but it seems to be all natural.
Nothing man-made or mermaid.
No. And at one particular point, roll perception, everybody.
Take 500 d8 damage.
Yeah,
Everybody, as the entire mountain falls again.
yeah, right.
You didn't get out in the first day, so you're all dead. Sorry.
God damn it. That's a 7.
7.
12.
12.
19.
19's good.
19.
19's good.
10.
10. The 19 and the 19 as, are you ahead of Galus?
Yeah, I'd be ahead of
Okay,
Galus,
Caroline's
'cause
ahead of
I'd be
Galus.
between Tanith and you.
Yeah, put the women in the back. Wow.
I think,
No,
Nani,
I
Nani's
think
in
I
the back.
put.
Dex is in the far back with the storage.
Well, you are pregnant, so
He's in the
there's
middle.
that. We don't want to risk the child.
And
Erlon will fight you if you try.
Erlon's very protective of these children that are not his.
Galus and Erlon, you guys hear something. You guys can hear this. Then it's gone. And then you round another corner and
Is that music?
You heard that too?
Erlon says, I think I hear music.
I heard it too.
ding, ding, ding,
There.
ding, 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 ding.
Alright, everybody get your weapons out. We're about to kill a bard.
I am a weapon.
Erlon takes out his staff. So he says that aloud. He says to everybody get your weapons out.
Roll insight.
Insights. No.
No?
4 on the dice.
No, no,
Like a
it's,
7.
No.
the music is unfamiliar to your ears.
about mine?
Have you ever been in contact? Sorry, I'll get you roll history. Yeah, roll history.
7?
7?
Yeah.
It's unfamiliar to you.
Huh,
This close anyway.
You know what? I actually just thought because where Dell's traveled a bit.
But you didn't hear it. Only we heard
Oh,
it.
yeah, only one of these guys heard it.
That's true.
Yeah, you guys hear it. Do you stop? Do you continue?
Well, I said to I'll get all the weapons out. I don't know. Does anybody want to stop?
I think we should keep
Slow
going,
down
but
a
just
little
have
bit.
them ready.
Yeah.
We're already going very slow.
You guys are going 25 feet.
Yeah, they were-
Slow.
We did slow pace to make sure.
But
So,
you couldn't unless you were carrying Galus with you. If she moves 25 feet, and so does Nani.
Erlon says, I'm going to go take a look. He kicks his feet, which make no sound because of his boots. And he's going to say, stay here. If you don't hear back from me in
30 days.
15, if you don't hear back from me shortly, within a minute, rush forward. So,
You clicked your boots. Did I give you a match there?
oh, that's the boots of Elvenkind.
Good.
So it's the
They're
ones that are
always.
silent.
You don't have to activate them.
I get advantage on stealth rolls.
You don't have to activate it, though. It always happens.
Yep. Exactly. So I get advantage on stealth.
That's right. There was another night's rest. So you're at one. You should be at 1 level of exhaustion.
Nope.
right now.
I'm. If we had another rest in there, then I'm down. I'm
Okay,
done.
good.
I have no exhaustion. I'm back
Everybody
to
should
par.
be clear of exhaustion. Now, if it was a 3-day trip, it should have been enough to take care of all the exhaustion.
So I'm back to
See?
to normal.
I scare ya. Okay.
Oh,
You're alright. I give you some exhaustion levels and I take them away. Just like that.
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
Erlon moves forward with his stealth of whopping 13.
Whopping 13.
It's just not enough.
Boulder.
And he's probably invisible, but he can't be heard. That's the only thing. He can't be heard.
Yeah. As you're walking, you can kind of hear more music. It seems to be not blocking out. It seems to be continuous now. The sound waves are not being stopped, and you can hear it. It's fairly nice. It's you're getting closer. It's fairly familiar. You've heard not the song, but the style of the play. You've heard this kind of style before. This rhythm.
See any light?
You peek your head around that corner, and you can see light. You can see this dim orange light far. This hallway opens up. And-
Before you describe that, Erlon will come up to that junction, but he won't poke his head around.
Okay.
He'll just stay behind the wall. And he'll
You would notice in this corner it's still pitch black.
pitch black.
Pitch black, absolutely. There's no light reaching this corner.
Gotcha. So, looking, if he leans out to get like an angle, would he be able to see any amount of light without poking his head out?
No, you'd have to have line of sight to see anything down. You'd have to poke your head.
Poke my head out.
So you kind of just poke your head out, just the slight amount you can see some light, but it's pretty far down. It's pretty far away. It seems like the cavern opens up a fair distance down, or the cavern here opens up to a larger area further down.
Just dim light and music.
And you can definitely hear the music now. Every now and then, roll a new perception. Now that you're here.
New perception.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
See, it was a visual thing. That's what it was. As you're peeking your head out, you can look and you strain your eyes. You strain your eagle eye vision, and you look and you look, and you can see someone just walking by. He's got a sword just leaned up against his shoulder, just kind of walking by. You can see him walk by the entryway.
Does he see me?
Didn't even seem to look in your way. He seemed to look like he was hearing for something. You could see he was at attention, but just kind of walking slowly and goes over to that side. And further on, you can see.
Could I roll insight just to make sure whether he knows I'm here or not?
Sure.
Gotcha. That is cocked. Yeah. That's worse. No, I can't tell.
And he walks by, and that's what you see. You can also see further on the light kind of moving. Maybe it's torchlight. You can hear the music again. You see 3 people dressed in clothing of all sorts of shades and colors. You can see a woman with her petticoats pinned up on the side of her as they go. There at least should be 12 different shades of reds, blues, greens, and yellows. And the men beside them with their white open button blouses and their colorful pants with different patches and different stripes. Their hair is all done up and gelled and shiny. The men are clean shaven and they're playing instruments.
So these would be the Vistani. Pretty
Now,
sure.
yes, now you know this sound from a long, long time ago. You and Ravlin happened to cross paths way back in Delron. It's a very similar sound. And roll another history for a name. You got names when you were there.
I can't remember 3 on the dice.
No, you can't remember. But clearly, those 3 standing walking playing instruments.
Okay, with that in mind, Erlon is going to go back to the group. He's not going to talk to them until he has people behind him and in front of him. So he'll go back and he'll meet them halfway since they kind of kept going, and he'll say, "Yeah, there's a couple of people from the Vistani. They're playing instruments at this junction, and there's dim light and a fire."
Generally, everybody would have had experience with the Vistani. There are traveling tribes. There's 5 or 6 major tribes that travel all over the world, all over in each different country, and even on the sea. So one time or another, you guaranteed you would have seen a Vistani, one of the Vistani folk.
I just don't know why they're down here so far.
Shelter from something?
I'm not sure. Well, let's go and see if they don't want to kill us, I suppose. They didn't seem to see me or hear me, so that's good. Erlon gets behind you, Tanith, which is in front of Galus.
And you guys
You're more familiar with them than I am. You go ahead. I'll just pick you up.
Tanith is afraid of nothing except other people.
You haven't social interactions are the only thing that freak him out.
My social interactions usually involve murder.
Oh, if you need me to bonk somebody, sure.
Then, being picked up and plopped in front like a plant, Erlon will turn back to Tanith and say, "Oh, fair point. They'd probably look at you and scream." So, true. So Erlon will move forward then, and he'll round the corner with everybody kind of behind him, I guess, unless somebody else wants to say something. Erlon will round the corner. There he is. Is anybody going to be behind him?
Me with the rainbow shawls?
That's right. Yeah. You are not Vistani.
No, I
You're just
I'm
not.
just like my people!
Yeah.
Look at all the rainbows!
She sees all the colorful feathers.
Yeah, she's like, I'm in!
So there you go. Erlon and it's Nani up next.
I'm
you
third.
Guys, you're third.
I'll be behind Tanith.
He'll
Behind Tanith.
I'm bringing up the rear, I
But you might
guess.
get my back.
Behind
That's
you,
what I mean. That's what I mean.
behind you
Because
is
where I'm,
Deximus, and
where
then
you're now
behind
large,
Deximus,
technically, I can.
about 25 feet behind
Stuck behind
is
my
Ravlin. You guys move in. The corridor goes about 120 feet, and you get about 30 feet to the opening, and you guys can see tents. On the right-hand side, once it opens up, maybe about 20 or 30 tents. You can hear. Now, you can hear people talking, people chattering back and forth. You can hear music.
Can we smell food?
You can smell food. Food is cooking.
Towards
now.
the food.
You can even maybe...
Slowly.
Slowly. Waddling.
Galus, I would say you can even hear it. You can hear the sizzling of something off in the distance. The crackling of the fire. And you guys walk into this opening. The guard that Erlon had seen walks out from the right-hand side as he had gone back previously. He comes out and he's got this great sword. And he's holding it and he walks up and you can see this kind of surprise, stun in his eyes. And he says, "Hey, stay back! Stay back!"
We mean you no harm.
No, I just waved.
You're Vistani, yes?
But he's not standing. He's he looks like an elf.
Like, okay, so he's kind of like the hired muscle,
Looks like.
quote unquote. Erlon steps out from the shadows, and he'll see that he too is an elf with an ivory staff.
You can see the great sword kind of drops a little bit in his hands. He has a confused look on his face. Roll persuasion, Nani. Actually, one of you roll with advantage because you both kind of helped there. going to take it? Or roll separately. It's either or. Yeah, there you go.
Let's go separate.
And yours. What,
No.
What'd you get?
4.
I got a 12.
12. It's pretty much the same. Okay, so you guys are both meeting each other at guarded glances, and you see from the left-hand side another man walks up. He's a dwarf this time, much shorter than the elf, and he has two short swords in his hands. One of them is turned the other way in his hand. And he walks out. Looks like he's ready just to jump into action, but you guys haven't come out that far. You're still about 30 feet away from this guy. He says, "What do you see?" And the guy looks and he says, "That one there's an elf. And I think... Is that her?"
The wall
And
behind
then-
Erlon will move.
And then, yeah, there you go. You guys are still in the dark.
Yeah.
Is that who?
I actually.
That's what he said. He said he turned to the dwarf and he said, "Is that her?" And then
It
the
me.
dwarf looks and says, "I don't know who it is. You best all come out now. All of you."
Just keep an open mind. Keela says that out loud.
Words from the darkness.
Yeah.
It'll
Okay,
be
hear me
best
out,
if
hear
you
me
come
out.
out now.
I actually, just to kind of go retroactively back, I like what you had said, so I'm actually going to do that. When he was saying, where I was behind Tanith, what I'm actually doing is I'm using my spider climb gear to just kind of hang off of his back where he's so tall.
He's literally
I'm just-
geckoed on my
I'm geckoed
back.
onto the back of him. It's full cover. Yeah. It's full cover.
Above game, if someone could like multi-class into a cavalier, that'd be amazing.
Oh my god.
You're gonna need a
People
pole
may die.
or a lance.
Jousting on Taylor's back.
That'd be
You guys,
Pick up the horse.
you guys all come out.
Slow
Now,
down.
horse.
I'm
Okay.
already up there.
Everybody comes out. Deximus and Rav are still in the dark, in back there. As you guys come out of the darkness, you can see this elf and this dwarf take 2 steps back immediately. The elf brings his sword up again, and the dwarf kind of holds a bigger pose. They have a deep breath in, and then,
Erlon holds out his hand.
"What are you doing here?"
My stick brought us here.
Erlon puts his hand to his face.
It's true.
Well, that's true. He says that's true.
It's a very long and complicated story.
Long story short, the entire city basically destroyed. So we fell through, and we had to escape. And now we're here.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Stop it.
What's it?
Stop it. Okay, that's worse than what I did before.
Go to dice jail.
What'd you get?
It's a 4 on the dice.
One of the dice.
One of the
He
dice
doesn't
maximum.
trust you. The dwarf speaks up and he says, "I'm looking at you, Tanith."
Well, he's telling the truth, though.
Yeah, but he's really on edge, and he looks really on edge right now.
But he's still not convinced.
He's not convinced that you guys are friends.
You'll
Yeah,
notice
he's
that,
It's not even me!
Not quite.
you'll distinctly notice that Tanith does not have any weapons out.
You don't have any weapons
No.
out? Did anybody else draw weapons? No. Only you?
Only me.
Only you, and it's a quarterstaff. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you guys didn't say naysay the
Oh, yeah, no.
the weapons,
Sorry.
so I thought everybody drew. Okay, that's cool. So, roll your persuade. You roll it with advantage.
Just realized that Erlon told us all to take our weapons out and nobody
Okay,
did
there
it.
you go. I'll give him the disadvantage for that because you guys don't have any weapons out. And
I'm just
this
curious
is
shit
already
anyway.
Total,
Just that.
by the way, for persuasion, that would be, with the 4 on the dice, that would be a 7.
7.
So,
Wow, still like really close. But he says that he says,
he'll start his stab.
are you with them? Are you with those creepy crawlies?
No, we killed a lot of the Boulets. No, we're not with them. Or the ant people.
For me, you still don't know. Ant people is all you know right now.
The ant people? No, they flooded the city from above. And we had to flee.
He looks over at the
We
elf.
mean you no harm.
He says, "All right, they're survivors. Let them pass. Get their names though. Keep an eye on them." He walks over to the side as the elf just kind of stands there. You guys can see now from the tents, there's eyes, people standing, 30, 40, 50 people maybe looking. And you guys can kind of hear these bits of conversations. Is that them? Oh, that's right. Could I don't believe you. Could it be the Gretsch gang? No, that's not what they were calling it. The old Gretsch gang. You can hear this rumble and talk go through these people. You can see them looking back at each other, eyes wide, mouths open.
As we're kind of walking through, just from Kenneth's back, Dell just kind of says, "Well, apparently our reputation precedes us."
Hopefully for the better.
Yes, better.
Nani takes Galus's hand and just toddles toward the food like princess waving as she goes along. We're going to eat.
And speaking of that, food time. We'll continue the entrance into the cavern after the pizza.
Pizza.
We're going to eat.
Again. So, yes, you guys hear those bits of conversations from them. There's more to it. It's like, that's not Kenneth. It's not him. And then it goes on like that as you guys walk in. The elf takes your names, doesn't write anything down. Seems like you might remember.
Yep. He just says his name is Erlon.
And you guys walk in immediately to your right-hand side of these tents. And there seems to be 30 to 50 people standing there looking at you.
And from the conversations, did it sound like people were revering us, or was it infamy?
Both. Seem to be a little bit of both. You know, they don't know what to expect. But as you guys do walk through, there is a group of people that approach you.
Erlon's walking with his staff as a cane, as a walking stick.
You see this dwarf with two creatures behind him, another dwarf and a gnome. And he approaches and he says, squints his eyes and looks at you, Tanith. Looks at the rest of you. Is it true? Are you them?
Are we who?
The old Gretsch gang. It was you, wasn't it? Who fought alongside Oros? Against that creature?
Yes.
Yes. Although that was some time ago now.
We all seen you.
It's like 4 days ago. I think, or 5 a week. Something like that.
Didn't we walk for like 10?
We seen you fight alongside him and defeat that creature. You all are welcome here. My name is Welvin Corsian.
Corsian.
Write that down, Zach.
Write that down, Zach.
Oh. Nope, man.
It is an honor to meet those who would fight against that which would destroy us. Please, come. And he leads you all into the tents. So there's food, cooking, on more than one campfire. You guys can see the standing all around. Not all around. You can see the standing around. Maybe about 6 or 7 of them. And you also see groups of elves, dwarves, gnomes, humans. This seems to be a grasping of survivors.
Or refugee camp.
A refugee camp.
Erlon will take a bit of food and he'll take out his hurdy-gurdy for the first time in nearly a year. He'll look it over, sit cross-legged, take a deep breath, and he'll try to play. Natural 2. As soon as he starts, he
Can you
stops.
imagine if you rolled a natural 1 again after all of that work?
Doing.
No, I wouldn't do it to you.
No. But yeah, no, he starts playing and it just doesn't feel right, so he stops.
Yeah. It starts off and you're not into it right now. It's maybe Erlon's feeling right now, not the instrument per se.
Erlon he starts and then he just packs it back up.
Perhaps memories of your grandfather, just too much
Yep.
to control.
You can see Erlon, as soon as he starts to play, he just kind of stops and looks off into the distance and puts his instrument away and starts looking down and meditating.
You guys are given food. People are walking up, giving you food from the fire on these on plates. You see that there are some cutlery and plates and things like that around, but not many. And it seems to be mainly you guys that have them. Like they brought them out. Everybody else is eating on a plank of wood or a stone or just out of their hand, something like that. They're all asking you questions about what happened. How did you do it? What happened to Oros? Have you seen my daughter? A man rushes up to you, Erlon. Puts 50 platinum in your hand. Says, please, find my daughter.
We'll find Mom, I got it.
He looks at that, and he looks back up to him, and he says, your daughter.
Hi, my daughter. Find her. Her name is Erlyn Cragmore.
He looks at the 50 platinum, and he looks back to him. Is he like a nobleman?
He looks pretty noble.
Take his money.
So you're the higher class. You're the nobleman. Your daughter, what happened to her?
She didn't make it out. I don't know where she went. But I will. Can you go back in there and find her for me?
If she didn't make it out, she's long dead.
Counter,
He
Jesus.
kind of looks at the ground and think about it. And he walks away with his head drawn to the ground.
Erlon he gets up from his seated position and he grabs the shoulder of the man, the dwarf, and stops him in place. Grief. He holds up the money and gives it back to him. If he doesn't take it, he will force it into his pockets.
Well, it's going to be a forcing match because he pushes it away and he says, "This means nothing. It means nothing. Go find her, please." And he's begging you now. You're holding a hand out. He's holding your hand in his hands. He's, "Please, I've seen what you can do. You can fight them off. You can do it. I've watched you. We've seen you, all of us." And he looks around and you can see the faces nodding in agreement. And
Face the god of death himself. That's what he says to them. And you can see he can see tears in his eyes. And he's
you hear the people breathing in gasps all around.
and he gave me purpose, and he showed me that somebody very close to me died. I will avenge their death, and then and only then I'll work for what else we might need. But I don't know if I'll even be back to the shears. So
There's not even a shears left.
So I apologize, but I'm going to tear apart who killed my grandfather, piece by piece.
He assumes this happened here. You get that look on his face, and he gets kind of resolute, and he closes your hand on the platinum, and he says, "Then use this to do it."
And then if there is any hope that your daughter is alive, sir, try to find her.
He nods. He says, "Thank you." His eyes go to the ground again, and he goes,
Dell, having overheard his little blurb.
He shouted that.
Oh, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, so anyway, either way, Dell overheard it. He's nearby to him. And he just goes, I'm both making an occasional side hustle, if you will. But for somebody who, from all appearances, looks to be a monk, why would you be offering people false hope like that? You have your purpose, yes. Vengeance, however skewed it may be. But why would you even go there? You and I know so well that we barely made it out there with our lives. Why would you even give him that inkling of hope that his daughter, who was just more than likely a mere noble, didn't get trampled to death by those bugs?
Well, if I find a corpse, I'll bring it to him. That's what he says, plain and flat.
Dell has just finished up eating a piece of food that was brought to him. He just kind of takes one of his daggers out and picks a piece of meat out from between his teeth. And he just goes, well, it's your funeral.
They'll probably be long gone by the time I'm even back in the shears. What's left of them?
Tana, you see from the other side of the camp, not the tents, from the other side of the cavern, the room itself, it has opened up to about 200 feet by 200 feet roughly in places. You can see walking up towards you 6 men draped in black armor, black cloaks, heavy, heavy dragonborn faces. And they approach you and they say, Bodrick, First Claw reporting.
Just give him a nod. How many do we lose?
We found ourselves down here. We were on patrol, far away from the main celebration. We didn't know anything was happening until we were stranded here.
You should count yourself lucky. The city was lost.
Lost?
Lost. I know not what they were, but there was many. Far, far too many.
What will we do? What will you have us do?
Oh, my magic stick.
For now, protect the survivors. Once they're safe, make your way to the nearest outpost and report what happened. We need to spread word.
We don't know where to go. We've sent scouts out. They didn't come back.
Then protect the survivors at the very least. That is our duty. Protect the people.
And as you guys
Very subtly poking Tana in the side with her stick.
Yeah, metal. Poking a metal plate.
And as you're looking at the thought of protection of these people, Tan, starting doing your planning, your Oros training kicks in, you can get a scope of the land. Roll perception for me, please. This is just at a quick glance around.
Oh no, 6.
6. At a quick glance around, you can see that there are 4 major entrances to this place. It doesn't look very defensive.
Yeah. This place, good as it looked when we got here, not very good for defending survivors, especially from those numbers.
So you guys are here. You got people, 40 to 30 to 50 people here, just hanging around, not necessarily in this camp. Immediately to your left, you guys can see piles of sand and discarded.
They're gonna say dead bodies.
No.
Dead people.
They just brought all their
I
dead.
see dead people.
It looks like slag, piles of slag. None of you have really spent time in the mines for the most part.
I had.
Not this mine. This is the smelting part.
Oh, okay.
This is where all
Are we
the
still
rough
in the
heaps
mine?
are.
Well, we
I mean, I
came
grew
here
up in a mine. Would I have seen any of these things?
Yes, you would. You would recognize this
Oh,
as
just
slag.
like
Absolutely, this is used slag, just garbage metal,
Just all the extra.
just the impurities of what something is. Then you look to your right-hand side, and you can see this area in the middle that's raised up about 30 feet. These 4 steel ramps go up to this platform, and it's a round platform, and beneath it is this massive green bowl set underneath. And you can see looking at it, it's distorting your vision.
It's super heated. It's a crucible.
Like for melting ores?
Looks like it. Looks like it. You know, all the smelting is done deeper and underground, so it can be the toxic fumes that come out from the smelting can be channeled.
Sure.
And all this toxic fumes gathers up into the mountain, and when you guys seen Dermot come back with the umbrella full of oil, that slit that was on it, that's what it is. In the underground part of the shears, it's constantly raining this black gunk of oil. That's where, you know where that comes from. You know where this is. It's known as an underforge, is what they're called. You can see past beyond the slag, there's another set of tents up on the left-hand side. And that's mainly what you guys can see. There's all sorts of discard refuse, steel things, blocks of, you know how people make blocks of iron ore for transportation, just blocks? Imagine blocks like that the size of a car, the size of a bus.
Massive ingots.
Massive ingots. So you would think that this is not done by hand. It's definitely not done by hand. Nobody's lifting these things and putting them in places to melt them. But you figure these ingots could possibly fit in that the cauldron over there. This is what you guys see around you. The ceiling arcs out and into the darkness where you can't see beyond 60-foot view. And the ground here is pretty level. Some places it may not be completely level, but it looks like it's been moved. The area in this place has been moved and created as opposed to
Man-made.
natural form.
It's a man-made cavern.
So we're looking to, well, Erlon wouldn't have really heard this conversation, I guess. Would he have? Because he would have seen all the people go up to Tanith.
You all went into the tent area. You were all welcomed in there for food, for just sitting down, and you were in your meditative state. You would have heard this for sure. You would have heard all the chittering and chattering and all that. And you guys look down, you find your pockets are stuffed full of little toys, little trinkets. You pull up a little piece of quartz, a fancy looking rock, a shiny piece of metal. These people are giving you things. In addition to that, you can see there's people gathered in particular points around the underforge. And there seems like they're huddled around some sort of sculpture or something. And there seems to be 7 of them.
So Erlon
7 people or 7 statues?
7 statues. Maybe about a half dozen people around each one.
Erlon will mosey on over to Tanith and the small little gathering of Oros soldiers. And just say, so we need to defend this place? Or should we not use that?
Audric, first claw, cuts in. He says, second claw, may I answer?
Go ahead.
Audric looks at you and says, Audric, first claw, we've explored the rest of the tunnels. No one's come back from it.
Nobody's come back from it. Oh, well.
We've stopped sending people out because there's only 6 of us and there's 50 of them. We can't go any further.
Galus, you would also hear this conversation.
She walks up with her stick and says, I'll go.
Okay, the stick is directing you towards the underforge and to the left where the one of the larger caverns opens up. Actually, it's about 40 feet wide. This cavern right over here.
Took my cookies. Actually,
How dare you take a pregnant lady's cookies?
We moved to take a lot more. The northwest cavern's about 40 feet, the biggest one. The other ones are smaller, 10 to 15 feet that go around. And it leads you that way.
So I'll tell him, I said, I'll show him my stick and how it's like pointing that way or whatever. He said, we need to go this way.
Audric says, that's probably isn't the best idea.
Alright, well you stay here. I'm gonna go for a walk. And she takes off with
The
his
second
stick.
claw, it's dangerous. She can't go that way.
Why? What's there?
The Formians are there.
She waddles.
They,
She's waddling off. She didn't
Yeah.
know it.
Stop.
they built up a defense.
Jan just picks her up, puts her back.
Pretty much.
Grabs her with
Just
backwards.
walking in midair.
There
It's
you
like
go.
it just.
She can't get very far.
So-
She can only go 20 feet.
I'm just thinking here. That crucible in the middle there.
Yep.
Can that be poured out?
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. We've got
You
to go
haven't
this way.
investigated yet. It has a whole slew of things you might be able to do. You just have to get
Yeah,
up
I
there.
think-
And this is where your skills as a rogue will be coming into play.
Excellent. So yeah, I think kind of, especially where he's like, don't go that way. Dell is now interested. He's kind of hobbled. He's kind of walked over and is listening to the conversation. He's like, so what did I miss? Catch me up.
There's some bad guys down there, but my stick said we should go that way.
Second claw,
You said they've built a defense. Means to keep us in, or to just kill anything.
I don't think they know where we are. But we can't go any further that way. We've got as far as we could, and one of us didn't come back. And I believe that is not the best way out.
Yeah, and Dell kind of looks over at Tanith and he's like, well, what can we do to make this place at least... if we know that they're that way, we would ideally want to be making our defenses more predominantly that way, would we not? I'll admit I'm no military strategist.
She's just standing there fuming with her stick.
That stick is
She wants to leave so bad.
I'm just still holding her up there.
Yeah.
Like a naughty 3-year-old.
So,
How off-put were the Oros guys by my new size?
Probably terrible.
they're trying
Ignore it.
to ignore it, but you can see that the way Bodrick approached you, and the way he's talking to you as you're only second class. You're above him in rank. But, I mean, you're not like a first talent or something like that where he would be afraid to even speak to you, or a centurion, kind of similarities to the Roman Empire. But you're giving the essence of a centurion right now. You don't necessarily have the paperwork for it, but you got the body for it.
Yeah.
Okay? Something is up with you, and they're accepting that as he's the alpha male right here.
You got big dick energy, George. And they're
Big
just
claw
like,
energy.
and they're just like,
There's your episode.
I got
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Tanith, put me down. What?
No, once you've calmed
Kind
down.
of seeing what's going on, Dell is actually going to, where he saw that was in the center, he's going to get up there for a higher vantage point.
Certainly. Like, when you go up there, Airline, you're still meditating?
No, he went over with.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So you're all over there now.
Isn't that crucible superheated right now? Because it's distorting our vision.
It's distorting your vision, but you haven't investigated it completely.
That's literally what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
So-
I'm figuring the heat waves are doing.
As
Yeah, you
guys
might
are
cook
walking
if you
over,
come up there.
you're going to notice there's this line here on the map.
Mhm.
This only means that this square is 120 feet long.
Okay.
So that's how big your battle map is. So you guys have to come up here, and once you step in here, it's 120 feet until the middle square.
So the scale just goes.
Exactly. Just because there's nothing there for the most part. There's a bunch of sand dunes in this corner that do affect things. It's all half move speed because there's all slag everywhere.
Right.
But everywhere else is clear, and it's like 120 to 150 feet from the outer perimeter to that crucible. That's what you see. And you making your way over there, Delicate.
Yeah, and just where he's, like I said, he's trying to see what he can do strategically, so he's, where there's nothing kind of permanently causing him problems right now, he's just full on dashing. He's like, gotta get up here and get a better lay of the land.
Sounds good. Roll investigation, please.
Investigation?
Have you let go of me yet?
No.
You can try to get rid of
My boss station just didn't come in,
it.
right?
You most certainly can.
That is a 16.
16. As you're walking up to this thing,
More about this stick. You have to leave it alone, then you push back out over there.
yes. You walk up there. You notice it's a fair distance. It's you're not if you're running, you get there pretty quickly. But you get up top, and investigation 16. You notice immediately that it goes up about 30 feet on the ramp, and you notice that they look to be shiny, metallic, rounded panels with lights on them.
Okay.
And the lights mostly, right now, are in a green and yellow phase. Now, when you walked up there, it got warm. But when you look down, you notice that the crucible goes down about 40 feet.
Okay.
And it's sitting right above a pile of lava. And there's a bunch of lava down there, and you can see it. It's red, it's hot. Not really seeming active, just seeming like it's being held in state.
Okay.
But you can definitely feel the heat. It's not affecting you for the most part. And you get up onto the platform.
Okay.
And you can see with your investigation that beneath each of these panels that kind of stick out from the steel guard that's there, underneath each one, there is a steel box, each of them with a lock on it.
Okay.
What do you see up there? Everyone will call up.
Lots of controls for this crucible suspended over a giant lava pit. He just kind of hauls back and he goes, "There's a few lock boxes up here that might be of interest."
I'm no good with those. Go ahead and try to pick them open, I suppose.
So while you're working on that, you're going to try and get away from Tanith?
Oh, I put her
You
down.
let me down.
Okay, so what are you doing, Gillis?
Standing there fuming for a minute.
Okay. As you notice that there's in your pockets and stuff, you find these little toys and little trinkets that children and other people, not even just children, older people came and just put in your hand and stuffed in your pocket in awe or infamy. You know? They seem to be scared and not scared at the same time. Like there's hope, but fear.
I'm still glancing that way with my stick, but
Sounds
it
good.
seems that I can't go.
Not yet.
Erlon will kind of mosey back on over to the guard, and he'll bring the second claw, the first claw,
First claw.
and he'll say, he'll ask, how many passageways have you cleared?
I've checked them all to a certain degree, but they go out. Most of them don't go out to anything.
All dead ends?
For the most part, they're all dead ends. And one particular end, the one he points where you guys came from, one of them got attacked by a displacer beast. It wasn't very nice.
Yeah, no,
He retrieved his shield, but that was all.
there were multiple of those. Tanith ended up scaring them off.
No, we can't take 50 people back to that way.
No, and you wouldn't want to anyway.
Where to go?
And the way to the west is. What's the west?
Yep, and that's the place with all the. He points over there.
To the east, it goes off into smaller caverns.
And you said
You can't
there-
seem to get through. If you're small like a halfling, you can get through safely, I'm sure, but you'll be alone.
You said the Formians, the Ant people, they were.
I had Formies
Points to that cavern that way.
in the big one, just over there.
How far in are they?
They're fairly far in, but the cavern goes on for a good couple hours.
So the stick is pointing that way. It's
Not
divining.
that way.
He says that like the stick that she has was a divining rod of sorts.
Divining rod. For what?
Getting out of this mountain. It was created for a specified use.
The god of death himself gave it to me.
That's one thing to get out of the
Throw that
cavern.
Throw that ball right on
You
him.
say that, he looks at you, then he looks at Tanith,
We were
and he.
blessed by Keldrin himself.
Where's Wygo to get such a blessing?
Oh,
To hell and back.
you gotta go say hello to the displacer beasts.
Ooh. And the other one, same thing, it goes off into smaller and more sporadic, smaller areas.
So it's possible that the only way out is down with the Formians. So
Obviously, Gayla's vibes.
Well, you know,
Fuming just
Well,
a little
right?
bit with her stick.
and
She's leaning on it at this point. It's a big stick.
do you know how many they are? Roughly?
Formies, they took the city.
They did.
I don't have full numbers, but I can't expect that it's going to be anything small.
I would definitely agree. So, everyone looks over to the crucible. We can move the crucible and pour molten metal down the cave. That might be an option. Flood it with molten metal and then slide down after it cools. He wraps his fingers on his chin.
You and I had the same idea. Like above game, like straight up, find a way to get that
Yeah.
molten lava just right down that
Same.
cavern, flush them out.
But the problem is that is distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Viscosity and time doesn't. Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
What about Gra? Mrs. Caffrey go down?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's not.
It's flat.
Because if not, it's gonna backflood on
You
us.
have to go.
Yeah, you
try
don't want
to
to.
get
You don't want to pour
Yeah.
metal on yourself.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad time.
out. Thieves' tools. Times 4. There's 4 boxes.
4 boxes, with advantage or without?
With it.
Without. Alright. I'll roll 3 of them now.
Okay.
And we'll see where we got. Highest one we got was a 13, so that'll be a dex bonus, I assume.
Sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. So then we have an 18 a 11 and a 7 for the first 3.
The 18 clicks open. The other two, just a little too stiff. They've been here. It seems like they've been here for a time, and the
Okay.
heat. It is warm up here, so I mean, eventually the heat will start affecting things. And these have been down here for quite some time.
And he says so there was a 4th one.
Yeah.
Let's go for number 4.
D&D version of WD.
Oh, there we go. Not bad. 17 on that last one.
You crack 2 of them open. You can still try for the other ones.
Yep. We'll start with the 2 for now.
First
and then we'll go
off,
from there.
when you that, you are lucky. You find 10 of these rods, about a foot in length. They have a metal cap on each end, and it seems to be this dull red glow from this liquid inside the tube. You also find this rock, about a hand-sized rock with this red symbol on it.
Okay.
It seems to be a symbol of like a guild, like a smelting guild symbol, something
Okay.
like that. Yeah. You see the cauldron on it with some sort of like a pick on it or a shovel or something of that sort.
Okay. I think before we go too far into that, he's got to use some of his. I was gonna say because where they're stuck, is it that they're like melted or
No, you just failed. Just failed.
Okay.
You just couldn't
couldn't just
click
clean
it.
in?
It was too stiff, and you may have broken it that time.
Well,
but,
there's padlocks on a hasp.
Dan just walked over.
Yeah.
Can I try to break them off?
roll strength.
Oh, good.
DC 18 for picking it. DC 20 for smashing. Standard lock.
Oh, 18.
18. You squeeze it, and you
I was going to try and pull it off.
You do it. You kind of pull it. The metal just wrenches. You can see the top of it open, but the lock doesn't quite give. The lock doesn't. You made it move and bend out of the way. It doesn't look like you're gonna be able to pick it anymore, though.
Okay.
That one. Anyway.
So is it the lock itself that's moved, or is it the hinge?
The lock, well, it's a chest,
Yep.
a steel chest, and it comes down and it locks. The padlock's here, and it's the lock. The lock itself seems to be squeezed in a little tighter, and where the hinges that was holding tight can seem to be bent out a little. So you can
Okay.
kind of get your fingers in, but it's still holding.
Okay.
I'm not saying you can't try again, Tanner.
No, I was gonna say
It might be a bit simpler.
I'm just going to hit.
could.
With
Well, no, don't hit that. There might be something in there that'll break.
I'm hitting
Oh, the
lock.
Okay.
with
my smallest weapon,
Your greater axe.
which is now my maul.
well, I just want to know if it was going to be the axe that does fire damages mainly,
I don't want to burn up what's in there, so
or explode what's.
yeah. So I'm just going to hit it with the back of the maul.
You smash it right off. After the damage, it's sticking out clear enough. Pling, ting, 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 ting. You see the
And then the
block flies off and runs down one of the ramps and falls into the wall.
And then I'll hit the other one.
Sure.
There you go. They're open.
I need you to roll, since that one's undamaged, I need you to roll athletics.
Oh my.
25.
19.
Okay, good enough. Just wanted, if it's a low roll, you could damage the things inside and they may not work properly. But you got them, all the locks are off, you're good to go.
All right. So what do we have in the other two things?
You have 15 total of those
Rods?
tubes now, those rods. And 4 of these stones you see. 4 of them.
Okay, so there's 4 of those
Four
gold
chests.
stones.
I think you only rolled 3 times for the amount.
Oh, no, I rolled it there. Yeah, they rolled 6, 4, then a 2, and a 5. Oh, 2 and a 3, a 2 and a 3.
So it's 4 of those guild stone rocks and 15 of the rods.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do they look familiar at all to either of us?
I was just gonna say, can I roll
Del
history?
Pix, you've been in the shears before, so roll just history normally.
History normal?
Sure. Would I know what they are since I have them?
You would know they're derived. You use a particular thing from them as an Oros Knight. There's a much smaller form of an exploding grenade.
Okay.
It's
That's
this
a-
much.
Yeah, I only got a 13.
It's basically just TNT.
13, you know what they are. They are explosives.
The rocks?
The rocks is the ignition.
Okay.
You know that it acts kind of like a sending stone. You press it to activate.
Oh, okay. So it's like a remote mine.
Yeah, that's what you find up
Kind of
there.
just giggle at that.
Dell kind of looks at him. Well, we can definitely use these to our advantage.
Oh, yes.
So as you guys are up there taking care of that, Nani and Gales, what are you guys doing? Because
I do what I want to do.
She's
And
pouting.
this whole game is
She's
just
pouting.
telling Galus not to do that. No, don't go there.
Not yet. Not
Um,
ready.
If you guys wanted to, the people seem really inviting.
I was
They
gonna
all,
say, we found the children. I found the children.
there's about a dozen children down
No,
there.
it's
And you
not-
guys are going to know
Hanging
these
out with the
families
kids.
are completely different. There's probably not one person that are related to another person down here. If they got lucky, there might be someone who knows somebody by a family extension. But other than that, these are just survivors, refugees of what had happened that had kind of strung in here through various means.
We'll just go find a little one, pick them up, and sit with them for a bit. I guess.
Tell them stories.
They tell you some very horrific details about what happened to them. About most of them came from the main mine, and they also tell you that they can see you. So one of the little children says, "I watched you
What do you mean?
on the orb crystal sphere. We got to see the whole play, the ships, the singing. We seen everything, but they must not have shut it off before the end happened, because we got to see the whole fight. We got to see you kill that evil creature." And there's a grandmother there or something, and she kind of puts her hand on your shoulder, and she says, "You have my apologies. I've seen your friend was taken by Dagon as well. I have my apologies for that."
Right.
Yeah. See, outside the game, that big crystal sphere shown everybody else what you guys see inside. So that whole play, the
okay.
whole
It was
music
televised.
was televised.
Live, on live television.
Everybody seen what you did.
So
Everybody.
Everybody saw.
Except now Tanith looks a little different.
He's a little
different.
Just a
I'm a
little.
little thicker.
And Erlon's
You're a little
She looks
thicker, yeah. 7 days thicker, yeah.
and
Erlon's got a new belt.
And Erlon's not breaking the sound barrier by moving.
And you all look heavily distraught with rank depression, and you're all looking pretty mentally disturbed right now. Except for you, Nani. You
I'm
look
good.
the same.
I'm good.
She's already
I am even keeled.
And there's kids
all the way.
around.
There's kids.
They have some rations, more food, different food than you guys had. You guys brought all the dry stuff. They actually have some a bit of fresh that they've got. There's 50 people, enough for people to
Mixing
share
things
around.
up.
You can also see somebody in the crowd there cast a spell, and some food happens to grow on a plank of wood.
Got a druid over there.
So,
Is there literally a spell for crave food?
you guys create food and water.
Wait, I think I do actually have that.
But you don't need it because you have.
I know. That's why I've never used it.
But
It's
you
not
guys
even-
spend the time hanging with the people there. It's
Taking in their story.
It's as homely as it's going to get. You can see the you can see the effect that this has wrought on these people. There's some that are broken, some of them that are just sitting there staring into nothing. Some of them you can see intense, just laying down, just not moving. For the most part, everybody seems to be healed. Nobody's in desperate need of fixing or mending. You guys with the equipment.
Erlon looks up at Rav, or Delkek, and Tanith, and he says, "So, what are those things?" And he points to the charges that you guys have in the stones.
With a slight smile on his face, and we're like, explosives.
Blow up. Oh, good.
Use those
Great.
hands.
Great. Erlon puts his hands on his hips and he says, "Well, we could. No, that's not a good idea. I was going to say we could possibly go into that cave with the Formians and the Ant people and put them on the ceiling and blow it so we all fall down.
Yeah, but then
Maybe one on the
but,
way out.
but then that's the problem with that, of course, is that blocks our way out. We then have to do that much harder work.
Audric kind of pipes up and he says, if you block that off, I'm afraid we won't have much air left in here.
It's true.
So,
That's if we're even able to get him in there and blow them up without being skinned alive by the Ant people.
First Claw Audric also kind of looks around again and sees the other 5 soldiers behind him just looking at Tanith. And he goes, "Get back to your post!" And they all kind of scurry off. Each one kind of takes one of them. 2 guys go to the big opening, and 1 goes to each other opening. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he's going to stay there.
So, Dell kind of looks to the main opening. And he's kind of looking at it, and he goes, "Does that run down here, though?"
Yes, to a degree. Not a huge degree, but it does go downhill for the first bit. It seems to be, this area seems to be magically or man-made for the most part. The other ones definitely rough-hewn, like they were just kind of found into the opening somehow. But this one does seem to go down to a certain degree, but you're not sure how far it goes down.
It's the one with the formulas.
Yes, the one where they say the
So, this section up here, is that level?
That is, it goes up about 30 feet on the ramp here. The cauldron and the ramp is 30 feet up.
Okay.
The area around here is level with the ground. And the lava goes down 40 feet. And the cauldron dips down underneath. It doesn't touch the lava. So you guys are up here. Platform, cauldron, lava, and walls up. Like a big bucket in a bucket.
Okay. So, that bucket, or the cauldron, I'm assuming it comes up through that crucible, right?
You can see that the cauldron is solidified. The cauldron is built into the surrounding rock. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be movable.
You tip it out.
Yeah, 'cause that was what I was thinking. What if... So he kind of looks around and he's like, well... And he looks over at Tanith and he goes, "I've got an idea that's crazy. And it might work."
Oh no.
And that is where we will end for the evening. Thank you for watching the Death Needs Dialogue Entertainment Network. This has been The Depths of Felthan, Episode 20, Funnels and Tunnels, Part B.